Hi everyone, Alex is here. Let's create crypto tracker on Python. That's our structure. Nothing too complicated. Moreover, we just have one CLI file, python3 main.py. And before running all that code, let's check it out. How does it work? So an idea here for me is just for you to know how does API is working. API, Application Programming Interface. An idea here is to communicate with some service that can send you back some information. For example, ChatGPT or Gemini, or for example, in our way is CryptoTrack. For example, you wanted to make out, or you wanted to just to show right now currencies. API is everywhere in this situation. It takes the information from another service. That service shows you what is their API, which parameters they have, which fields they're returning, how does it work. And to work with Python, that is quite easy. You're writing with import request, import JSON, you're having your API URL, and you have parameters that you're parsing. For example, what we wanted to take. We wanted to take IDs, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, and we'll compare that to USD currency. The thing is that these parameters I didn't create it. They have been written on the site for API Coin Gecko. And that's the simple just price API to retrieve, and you can make, for example, automator to check when the prices are less than what you have written or that have been less than 1 year ago to buy more. Or if you're checking in 30 minutes there, for example, down or up, you're selling them. And make such automation, for example. I am not very on that, but an idea here to show what is API. Let's discover then. How does API will work? You can have a couple of ideas to work with API, but the most easy way will be to work with try-catch and request library. Building library in Python. So how it will work? You'll write in try. Why try? Because request can just throw error for you. So you should handle that and to not have problem with your all of the application. So we have response variable that will equal to request and get. Response will be taken as a result of running request get. Request get will have three parameters. It's API URL where we're making request and parameters that we will be sending. If you're sending post, for example, you can send, for example, body, you can send also your files, you can write different headers and all that to work with specific APIs. Mostly all the documentary will be on the website. In general, you can write a service, for example, ChatGPT API. Or for example, you're looking to a Mercedes API, right? Mercedes API, and whatever they will show you, it will probably work. After you have this, you can see here, check if the result was successful. This will raise an exception for bad statuses. If our response has response with bad statuses, 400s or 500s. 400s, 500s means that we have error. 100 is information, 200 that something is success, and 300 is redirection. Or I just missed 100 is information, 300 is redirection. Yeah, probably I'm right. Raise for status is built-in method, and it will raise an exception for 400s and 500s. That's why we're running try. It runs exception and error occupied, and we have a couple of ways. So it can be, for example, request exception, handle any potential error during the request, and handles case where response is not valid JSON. So these two exceptions can be handled. You can check them out, but in our situation it won't work. Let's go then. We are taking information from response. It's always JSON. I'm not sure that it will be returned to you as a JSON. It's not. But in our case, mostly you'll be taking JSON response and you should decode it from JSON, because Python not understand how to work with JSON and it should be decoded to more Python object. And after we decode it, we have API response. With indenting JSON dumps, it's just easier to see that. Then we're getting that element. So we're creating variables for each of the element and we're taking specific parameters value from our objects. For example, we have data. We have inside of the Bitcoin. What is subject? It means that if there won't be anything, like we'll be taking that as an object. And that's the point where you should then take USD, the currency that we're comparing that to. And let's go next. Then we should check if it's not null, because in general some of the information cannot be parsed to us. We don't want to have an error when we will be showing information and it will be just empty. It's not okay. That's why we are discovering if it's not empty and we're showing them to us. And let's check how it will be on code. We're going to the terminal. We're going to our code that we had here, copying that, going back to main, closing that. I'm going to, okay, in any case, I'm going to src folder. We're running main3.py, running that. Let's check what we have. That's API response from our service. And that's how simple API requests can help you. This thing will format that as we want it to. It will use comma, with dot, with 2 to the end. Please discover the next thing. When we are wanted to create, for example, any application or any company, probably try to take an API that are right now. If you want to work with Bitcoins or etc., or for example, create some automation for that, use API that we have right now. Try to automate as much as you can with API because it will make all of your applications and business faster. That's the crucial moment here. Hope that you will hear this. Wishing you all the best. Thanks for watching this video. Remember about API. We'll have any questions, just write me down in the comments. I'll help you with what I will be able. Bye bye.